my worst fear came true. She ended up being an Amiami exclusive. A lot of Fat Company figures are nowadays, you see. This is the biggest disappointment of the week to me. Hi and welcome back to the channel, Steven, with your weekly figure news fix for this week, 22nd to 27th January 2024. This is the busiest week yet. A lot of figures to cover. So to those few of you, 3 or 4 of you who have complained about my figure yellowing video being a bit too long at 25 minutes, well, today we have a 1 hour plus session because why not? Right? I like going into details. I like being as informative as possible regardless of the length of a video. I am not interested in catering to people with short attention spans because they are addicted to TikTok. That is my style. Just like my Kafka review a few days ago, there are so many things to look into. Yeah, the paintwork, the unboxing process, the quality of the packaging, every single flaw or weaknesses of the figure, I have to discuss everything. I want to go into details. Yeah. So without further ado, let's begin with genuine figures on HLJ, Amiami and Ninin Game for some exclusive items, and finally third-party stuff on OSGK later. Yeah, this week we have a lot of stuff. Let's begin by annoying YouTube's algorithm. Yeah, 1x4 skill Akeno Himejima doing pole dancing just like we had Rias Gremory last week. This was completely predictable. 1x4 skill by Freeing from High School DXD Hero, 35,000 yen, same price as Rias last week. Should you pre-order this? Absolute yes. For those of you who love High School DXD, this is a must-have together with Rias Gremory, right? The values are guaranteed to skyrocket after release. So if you miss out this chance, yeah, maybe later on we get a barrel version with no stockings on, but I don't think this pole dancing pose over here will look great without those stockings. So grab this one while you can. Yeah. Moving on to the next one. Okay, this one I have conflicted feelings, you see. Asuka Taiga barrel bunny version, 27,000 yen, coming out in July, which is not too far off. Okay. So the Taiga version, which came out a year ago, I think, that one was brilliant, at least on paper, at least in product pictures, but that version of Taiga suffered from quality control issues. Like, just re-release that same thing, but Freeing insist on giving us this bunny version, which is way inferior to the Taiga or Taiga version. Yeah, way inferior. Like, this is just plain white bunny suit with no stockings on, nothing much going on, and Asuka Taiga being called a tiger itself. We need the tiger version, right? We need that tiger version. Maybe change the color scheme, give us a different color scheme, but release that tiger version as a 2P color. This is not what I want, seriously. So I am not very happy with Freeing's decision on this version of Taiga. Very unfortunate. Moving on to the next one. Okay, 1x6 skill Dark Elf Village 4th Villager Camellia by Vertex. Yeah, their Elf Village series, their original characters, 29,000 yen. So this one, for those of you collecting this Elf series, this is a no-brainer. This is a must-have, seriously. Like, I love whatever that she is holding at the back. It looks like a boomerang, but 4-bladed boomerang, you know, the one to throw like this. That is nice. And so far, not a single figure from this series has disappointed me. I've seen them in person. I've seen the figure in person, even though I don't collect them. Vertex is one of those companies that I think very highly of, right? They had one figure, science fiction, like, what was her name again? I can't remember, which I nominated as one of the best of year 2023. Moving on to the next one, this is quite a bit of a surprise to me. Amakuni has been doing arms note figures for a while already. They were quite affordable, like 20,000 yen each. And then Enso Toys is one-upping them over here. This pair of figures, Bucho-chan and Kohai-chan set, 33,000 yen. That is, how much is that? 16,500 yen each. That is an absolute bargain, right? You can buy them separately, of course, but it is not worth it. Separately, 17,500 yen each, as you can see over here. But if you go for the set, 1,000 yen off for each figure, right? So it makes no sense to get only either one. One single outer 1x7 skill figure nowadays, like FGO stuff, is 30,000 yen plus. You're getting two over here for 33k. This is a great buy. Enso Toys as a figure brand, I don't know much about them yet. It is a very new brand, right? I don't even know if they have any figures already released. But from the looks of it, is this a Chinese brand or a Japanese brand? I need to research more, right? I am reacting to this figure for the first time. You see, these two figures went on pre-order on Friday, and I am filming right now on a Friday. You know, I wanted to buy the ones by Amakuni, but budget was a limitation. Now, this pair of figures by Enso Toys, I think they are a really good alternative the more I look at them. Because the pose and the way they are interacting to each other, like best buddies, yeah, I love it. Between the two girls, I like this short hair girl more. Is this... I think that is Bucho-chan, right? Anyways, I prefer the short hair girl a bit more, but both are great, right? Buy both. Moving on to the next one, 1x7 scale Azur Lane. That is French or Italian, right? Emmanuel Pesek, no. Anyway, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Okay, Backstage Blunders version. Backstage Blunders. Nice name. Okay, by Luminous Box, 20,800 yen. If I'm not mistaken, this is a Chinese brand, but that doesn't matter. Chinese brands, they are really stepping up nowadays. They make great stuff, and this figure, I like it so much because of, the whole pose, everything. Like, she is clumsily putting on her stockings. Right? Like, how would you even accidentally flip backwards or fall backwards like this one over here while wearing just stockings, right? Unless you are a complete airhead. And I really love the fact that we are not getting too many Azur Lane figures where there are all these ship parts surrounding the figure. I am not really a big fan of that. But at the same time, yeah, I would still buy the complete version of any figure, the deluxe version, right? So with these Azur Lane figures nowadays where we don't see the ship parts that much anymore, yeah, I am loving this trend, man. Oh, that is a great photo, man. This is a great photo. And those props in the background, I think I recognize them. You could probably find them in Taobao or something. Right? The backdrop is very familiar. Is this a good buy? Yes. I don't think there are any bad figures at all this week, other than for that Aisaka Taiga where I don't like the bunny suit. Okay, moving on to the next one, 1x7 scale Blue Archive Mari by MYI, another new brand I've never heard of. Coming out in December. 20,400 yen, a small price cut of 1,200 yen or so. So there has been so many non-figures so far especially by ecchi figure brands, Native and so on. But if you want something a little bit safer, I think this is not a bad purchase at all, right? Of course, I prefer the ecchi ones, but at the same time, I also love Blue Archive. 20,400 yen, I'm not sure if that is a reasonable price for this figure because this is a very simple figure when I look at it, right? Yeah, the pose and everything is quite simple. Maybe it is just me being manipulated, being psychoed by all those cheap Chinese scale figures nowadays that I'm not even sure anymore what is considered reasonable and what is expensive, right? Okay, I wouldn't call this expensive. Right, I don't think I'll call this expensive. Assuming that MYI is a Japanese brand, then this would be on the low side in terms of pricing. Yeah. Moving on to the next one, I think this one is quite interesting to me in the sense that I wasn't aware of this child version of Asuka actually being a thing, you see. I did not watch the 3 latest movies. I think the redo movies or whatever they are called. I did not watch them. So I have seen third parties doing a few figures of this Asuka in her child version, but to see a genuine brand doing it, I think I need to watch the movies. So this one is by Furina and Phoenix winter version, only 16,200 yen only. But this is 1x6 scale of a child character, so this is a small figure, right? 20 centimeters. Yeah, so this may be 1x6, but the height is more equivalent of a 1x8 scale adult character. 16k is reasonable. I wonder what happened to Phoenix nowadays. They used to price their figures really high. Must be the license cost, I think. Very detailed figure for something so simple. It is quite detailed, but the thing with Furina is that their quality control is a bit inconsistent nowadays. Like, two of their figures in last year itself, Albedo and what else was it? Hestia? Yeah, they made it into my notorious, infamous worst figure of the year, deservingly. So, approach this one with caution, I suppose. I don't think they will mess up something this simple, but because it is simple and the price is low, it is possible that Furyu would find ways, additional ways to cut cost, right? Who knows, the final product does not look as detailed as this product pics, just my speculation. But yeah, approach Furyu with caution. Moving on to the next one from girls, Frontline AK Alpha, 1/7 scale by Q skill, 28,800 yen. I think GFL, right, their figures are becoming obnoxiously expensive. Like, they are not too far off FGO. Every FGO figure, we have one this week as well later on. Every FGO figure are so overpriced that they become bargain binned shortly after release, right? With girls' Frontline, I'm not paying attention to their value yet after release, but every single one of them are so highly priced, at least 25k and above. 30 plus is not rare at all. Now, Q-Skill is one of the top tier brands out there. Their craftsmanship is excellent, but 29,000 yen for this one. What do you think? I wouldn't call this overpriced yet, but it is definitely on the high side. This is quite expensive, but at least I'm glad that Q-Skill did this, not Phat Company. I mean, 28,800 yen. I would rather pay this kind of money to Q-Skill than rather than Phat Company. So I guess that is the silver lining over here. You can expect good quality on this figure. Yeah. I still love the simple pose, you see. This simple pose is great for photography, for dioramas, as you can see from these sample photos over here. Just put her in a post-apocalyptic or war zone diorama and she will shine. Yeah. Moving on to the next one. Okay, we have 3 re-releases. The next 3 figures. Okay, the first one here we have Elena from Journey of Elena from Union Creative, 16,000 yen. Almost. Now, if this one is getting a re-release, it means that this is popular enough to have a demand, and I don't even know why. In general, I don't like figures like this because, you know, this kind of sitting on the floor pose, the figure tends to appear smaller than it actually is. Regardless of what is the scale over here, Union Creative stuff, they are mostly non-scale, but they are so-called non-scale, it is at least 1/7, okay? So, figures with this pose, the first problem is that, yeah, they appear very small at first glance. The second problem is that, specifically for this pose over here, her face is looking downwards, right? She is looking down. So, I can't really fully enjoy looking at her face. Face is the most important part of any figure, and especially from this angle over here, like, yeah, I can barely see her face because she is looking downwards. I suppose that you need to put her on a higher shelf, right, instead of a lower one, but I just couldn't bring myself to enjoy this figure. Like, regardless of which angle we're looking at her from, this angle as well doesn't look great at all. However, I'm also aware that the Japanese figure market has always been very unique, like different from everywhere else, right? Even China itself. So what they like, what they're interested in, yeah, it is very different from my personal taste in figure. That is for sure. 16k, even this figure is cheap, I wouldn't buy this one, right? There are many other better Elena figures out there. Moving on to the next one, we released Saber Eltria Pendragon Alter Curazia Nova from FGO. Now this one, if you missed out the first release from many years ago, I think it is at least 7 or 8 years ago, this is a must-have because you're getting an entire motorcycle with Saber on top for only 22,000 yen. This is excellent value. You see, re-releases have always been good purchases. Not so good for us content creators who want to review the figure later on. Like, people already know what the figure is like, they won't come and watch your video anymore. But for collectors, re-releases are always good purchases because they tend to be cheaper than the first release. Yes, maybe 7 years ago, this was 15 or 16,000 yen. They had to increase the price to compensate for the depreciating Japanese yen, right? But 22k is not expensive. In fact, it might be cheaper than that 16,000 yen you paid several years ago because yen is so much weaker today. And the reason for re-releases being very cheap is because they already made all those molds, metal molds, stainless steel flask which was used in the initial production. They have already manufactured those. They don't have to do that again. They only have to reuse it. So re-releases tend to be cheaper. Yeah. As a fan of FGO, as a collector of FGO, do I have this figure? No, I don't have this figure. So I am thinking of picking one up actually. Yeah. I'm not in a hurry. I'm willing to wait until after release before buying to score further discounts. Yeah. The next one, Ram from Blue Archive. I don't care if her name is Arona. I'm going to keep calling her Ram because blue hair, short hair, and one eye covered by the hair. That is Ram, okay? Okay, doesn't matter. Golden Head plus 21,000 yen coming out in August. Okay, this figure, yes, this one is very popular. Like, I have seen so many figure collectors posting pictures of this figure. She looks great, man. Yeah, Golden Head Plus is doing quality work. I mean, go to myfigurecollection.net and check out her product pictures, her user pictures. If you are happy, then yeah, pre-order it if you missed out the first release, right? Simple figure, by right, they shouldn't be messing up this figure in any way. Moving on to the next few figures, we are moving into low-cost figure territory. A few pop-up rates and Tenitals. Okay, this one, the first one, Mars Seal from Delicious in Dungeon, almost 4,000 yen. I really wish that this is a pop-up rate L. Maybe they'll make one in the future. This one I can recommend, but at the same time, I don't see a need to pre-order it early. Yeah. You see, the thing with pre-order, right? I'm sure you guys are aware that a lot of figures, they become cheaper after release nowadays, right? I think even Zuko, he made a video about pre-ordering figures being pointless nowadays. I made a similar video as well, and I still feel the same way today. For example, the 1x4 scale High School DXD figures, those are the kind of things you should pre-order because the value will skyrocket. But for FGO, yeah, FGO, regardless of character, and even for pop-up rates like this one, this is, you know, seasonal anime. I don't see a need to pre-order. Like, to me, pre-ordering equals to debt. It is a debt. Even though you have not paid any amount of money upfront, it is a debt because cancelling pre-orders in general is not good practice, especially when you do it way too frequently. I'll feel bad for the store owners, right? So for stuff that will become very common after release or even drop in price, don't pre-order it. And I don't think Marcel is also one of those characters, regardless of how popular the anime is. Yeah, I really love the anime. There are 3 episodes so far, right? The 3rd episode just came out less than 24 hours ago. I haven't watched the 3rd episode yet. I'm gonna keep watching it. I really enjoyed it. It was really entertaining. You should if you haven't started this series. It is quite a unique concept, like, you know, culinary, an anime about culinary and cooking, but they are cooking monster meat. It is a new concept. I do enjoy it. However, personally, if I were to buy this figure, I would prefer pop-up rate L. I want it to be 1x7 scale for her to align with all my other figures in my collection in terms of size. Yeah. Moving on to the next one, we have Ainz All Gown. Until today, I still can't pronounce his name properly. So this is pop-up rate SP. Is this a new series? SP. We only have I don't think there are pop-up rate SP so far. What is the size of this figure? Come on, HLJ did not tell us the size Amiami would have. So this is 10,000, almost 11,000 yen. Personally, I wouldn't pre-order this as well. I have no interest in undeads, right? Yeah, the thing is that there are not many scale figures of this King Undead over here. And for those existing skill figures of him, be it by genuine figure brands or third parties, they are incredibly expensive. They are obnoxiously expensive for very good reasons because they are very high detail stuff and they are huge figures in general. So this is actually the next best thing for those of you on a budget, right? And the thing with pop-up rate is that, what is her name again? That girl on the right? Sheltier, right? Sheltier looks fine as pop-up rate, but that pop-up rate albedo is terrible. It is horrendous. Trust me, go and buy Taito AMP+, right? Don't buy that albedo pop-up rate. It is bad. It is bad. Okay, saying the word bad is a bit too much, a bit too hyperbolic of me, but I would say it is very underwhelming. Go for Taito's AMP+. Yeah. Even the limited version, the one in white color outfit instead of the black color one, it is double the price of the normal version, but it is still worth it, right? Okay, moving on to the next one. What do we have here? Okay, I do remember this figure of Yumeko Jabami and also Mari Saotome going on pre-order last year. So is this a re-release, or maybe it is just a memory failure of mine? I thought these two figures have already gone on pre-order a while ago. But anyways, the best Kakegurui figures out there is the one by Mietos, right? Just Google for it. The two figures by Mietos, especially the one where she is lying on the desk, on the table. That gambling desk, whatever that is called, right? That is the best figure so far. Yeah, I think that was Mari Saotome. The one by Mietos is outstanding, but is the value expensive now? I'm not too sure. These two figures, once again, they are a bit underwhelming to me. Yeah, Mari Saotome is a bit better looking. Yumeko Jabami, I think you can't go wrong with the one by Mietos or even Kotobukiya, assuming you can find one at normal price. Yeah. Moving on to the next one, we have Nia from Gurren Lagann, 4,000 yen as well. Once again, one of those characters which I would say there is no need for pre-order. I can see this one being in stock everywhere after release. Yeah, this character specifically. Moving on to the next one, okay, Rikka Takarada. Once again, I thought this one was already out. Is this a re-release? I do remember seeing this one somewhere. Okay, doesn't matter. So this one is coming out in July for just under 4,000 yen. And Rikka is one of those girls that is virally popular in Japan. Like, everyone loves her thick thighs. I prefer something a bit slimmer. Well, not anorexic slim, but something a bit slimmer. Her thighs are a bit too thick to my liking. Personal taste. But, you know, a lot of her scale figures, those released by Fat Company and many other brands, they became really expensive after release. Like 40,000+ yen for a simple figure of Rikka in swimsuit. Like, I just don't understand the Japanese at all. They are crazy, man. I wouldn't pay that kind of money for a figure of Rikka, and moreover, something made by Fat Company. I love high quality stuff, so figures like this rarely appeal to me. Even more so when the pose is this simple. Should you pre-order it? That is the ultimate question, because yeah, she sells out in Japan. Seriously. Maybe you don't have to. Maybe you don't have to. I don't see the point really, pre-ordering something like this early. Okay, moving on to the next one. I think the next few figures are all dudes, I think. The way I arranged this video. Okay, the first one is Tenito Toji Fushiguro from Jujutsu Kaisen. I'll just call it JJK. 5,500 yen. One of those characters where if you don't like what you're looking at, we have price figures and many other options, right? Oh my god, that is an ugly butt crack. Come on. Is that a seam line, or that is part of the design of the character? Oh, I see. Oh, okay, it looks like a zip actually. Alright, just that at this scale, which is a small figure, it almost looks like a very ugly seam line. I'll call it a butt crack. Okay. Yeah, not the kind of stuff I collect, by the way. Moving on to the next one, we have Kyoya Hibari from Reborn. Wait, is this Katekyo Hitman Reborn? Should be, right? A classic anime. Should be Katekyo Hitman Reborn. Anyways, 4,000 yen as well. July release. For some reason, I feel like I'm looking at a character from Persona. Yeah, the metallic paint is a nice touch over here. But once again, something that I can't recommend pre-ordering. I don't see this becoming rare after release. Moving on to the next two figures. They are from Haikyuu. Like, it took Kotobukiya long enough to make scale figures from this volleyball anime. I am normally not a big fan of sports anime, moreover something that is full of dudes, but man, I fully enjoyed this anime Haikyuu. I finished all 4 seasons, though I don't see myself collecting the figures, of course. I just enjoyed the anime a lot. So this is at FXJ, affordable scale figure line by Kotobukiya at 1/8 scale, 16,340 yen after a small price discount. Of course, this is good buy, man. So if you were looking for something a bit better than Tenitol series, the problem with Tenitol series of Haikyuu figures is that some of the characters look fine, the others look very cheaply made, like they're almost price figure level, right? Now this is what I call a good balance between quality and price, right? Of course, no heavy shading, no ultra detailed paintwork, but that is okay for this price range, really. Amazing pose, you are getting a 3 stamp as the base. It couldn't get any better than this at 16,000 yen. Seriously, go for it. Next one, same thing as well. Tobio Kageyama. This one is a bit more expensive because the tree trunk is a bit longer. Okay. Based on my observations or my prediction is that Kotobukiya will go ahead and make every single character from this volleyball team, at least this team, the main character is in. But I wouldn't rule out other volleyball teams in the anime, right? Because they are quite popular on their own. Man, the fan girls are going to queue up for these 2 figures, man. They are going to be queuing up. They are great, really. And the last figure on HLJ, at the time of recording, by the way. Okay, something super premium, super expensive resin statue. This is by Infinity Studio, Infinity Statue. 1/6 scale horror of Dracula. Okay, oh, Van Helsing. Oh, I see. A classic as well. Van Helsing, I did not watch it. The anime, I think, was from the 80s or 90s? Yeah, around that. Actually, right, 2 figures at 1/6 scale, 155,000 yen for a high detail resin statue. I would say it is quite reasonable. Not the kind of stuff I buy, of course, but I would say the price is reasonable for this one. Oh, I love the tombstone over here. So the overall height 40.5 and the area is 43/28. Excellent. Okay, so next we move on to Amiami for a couple of exclusive items as well as more figures that HLJ has not listed yet for some reason. Okay, the first one here, oh boy. Oh yes. You see, St. Louis, right? I have lost count how many third-party figure brands have made a figure of her in this exact same dress. And there were even like $20 or $25 unlicensed resin figures of her. Yeah, $25 to $30 you can get an unlicensed figure of St. Louis. Just go to Taobao and take a look. Those are unlicensed figures, not bootlegs, because there are nothing like that in the genuine figure market. But of course, I would prefer to buy Alter, right? This is only 21,000 yen at 1/6 scale. What? Wow! There is another St. Louis figure coming, presumably next week, by a brand called Elegant, you see, where she is lying on a sofa, on a couch. That one looks amazing as well. And if you were to ask me, between this figure by Alter or the one by Elegant, which one to go for, most people will tell you go for Alter because they are proven, right? They are proven to make excellent quality figures, and I can't fault that logic at all. To me, you know what? If budget is no object, I would love to have both. Because both are equally photogenic, you see. I'm looking at figures from the perspective of a photographer. And I would love to photograph this figure someday. Azur Lane is going to defeat me at some point. Guaranteed, man. I haven't collected a single Azur Lane figure yet so far. I have resisted very well, I think. But no, not for much longer. Moving on to the next one, let me rant more about this Amiami exclusive thing. You see, I have been looking forward to this figure of Utsumi Erice for a while as a collector of FGO stuff. But my worst fear came true. She ended up being an Amiami exclusive. A lot of Fat Company figures are nowadays, you see. especially the ones that are predicted to be best sellers in Japan at least. The most memorable one was Florence from Neural Cloud, Girls Frontline. And this thing is going for 30,000 yen, and she has no business being this expensive because this is not a very detailed figure. This is FGO text all over again. Yep, FGO text. That lens, that spear is incredible. That is my favorite part of this figure. But outside of that, the entire figure, like, you know, all this white color cloth surrounding her, it is just plain white. I don't see much shading, and I don't expect any. Well, maybe the sleeves, you can see some light color gray or purple shading there, but once again, I don't think this figure is worth 30,000 yen at all. Despite being an Amiami exclusive, I can see this one being discounted. If this one goes under 25k, like between that 20 to 25 or 20 to 24,000 yen range, I might pick one up. I'm not asking for a bargain bin, you see. A nice 20% off would have convinced me to buy it because, yeah, I want a large portion of the shipping cost to be absorbed by these discounts, by the way. International shipping is just preposterous nowadays, the shipping cost. This is the biggest disappointment of the week to me. Moving on to the next one, for some reason, pop-up rates are also getting exclusives at Amiami for some reason. This is by Max Factory, Mai Shiranui, a classic and kind of a poster girl character for this KOF franchise, right? 4,800 yen. So Mai Shiranui, you have the cheapest stuff like this pop-up rate, and then you can go all the way up to third-party resin figures at 1x4 scale, 1x3 scale, $600, $800, so many options, right? Max Factory is even re-releasing one of their scales, I think, 1x7, 1x8, yeah. If I'm not mistaken, I remember covering that. As for this one, should you pre-order? I don't think so, right? Regardless of the exclusive status. Moving on to the next three figures, they are not exclusives, regular releases, just that not yet on HLJ for some reason. Okay, this is a 1x6 scale Demon Swordmaster of Excalibur Academy, Rizelia Ray, Crystalia, wearing Crimson Bunny costume with nip slip gimmick system. That is a whole lot of details in the title of a single anime figure. I think that last part over there, nip slip gimmick system, they are trying really hard to convince you to to pre-order the figure, man. Why would you mention that in the title of the product? You can just include it in the product description below. Why would you put it in the title? They really want you to buy it. Okay. Unfortunately for you, Nippon Columbia, the brand behind this figure, I've never heard of you. That is the first thing. And the second thing is that this is just a bunny girl figure to me, where there are a lot of them nowadays, and you know, Bear Panda is making more 1x4 scale bunny figures, which they are circulating on social media in Facebook already, not yet on pre-order this week in Japanese websites at least. I think it is on Bilibili already, which I'm not covering. Once the figure goes on pre-order, I'll cover in this video, right, in one of the next episodes. So with Bear Panda making all these amazing looking 1x4 scale bunny figures, they are really convincing me to pick up more 1x4 scales, and I'm seeing less reasons to buy something like this unless I know something about this character from this series, of course. Demon Swordmaster of Excalibur Academy, which I know nothing about. Yeah, when you know nothing about the character over here, it feels like an ordinary bunny suit figure. That is the problem I'm seeing. And they cropped off that table behind, which looks like a gambling desk you'll see in a casino. Yeah, they cropped it off. That is not the main problem. Oh, wait, hold on. I think my guess over here, there are 3 more figures, you see? There are 3 more figures with a similar base, and then they connect and make a circle around with 4 bunny girls. Because Bear Panda is doing something very similar with their 1x4 scale bunny girl figures. I think there are 3 more coming. That is my guess over here, judging by the modular design of the base. I mean, you look at the bottom corner of the base over there. You see, there is a gap over there for you to plug something else in. 3 more figures coming. Okay, alright. Sorry, Nippon Columbia, I'm not pre-ordering this. Nope. 20,800 yen is very reasonable though for a 1x6 scale. Moving on to the next one. Oh, this is one of the best looking Anya figures I've seen from a genuine figure brand. Coming from a brand called Toho, Japanese figure brand. Okay, a white Anya forger and Bond forger. Now, this is a really nice Christmas themed figure, don't you think? 27,500 yen is a tad bit overpriced in my opinion. Despite Bond being included in the package, this is a small figure. 27k is a bit too much. I don't think this is worth more than 23, 24k maybe. It is a few thousand yen overpriced, right? Oh, nice picture. Yeah, this would make for a great Christmas present for yourself. What? Oh no. Releasing in April 2025. So, this is for Christmas 2025. Can I recommend pre-ordering? Now, this is hard. If you don't care, you have deep pockets, you have a lot of money, yeah, pre-order it. But I can't justify the price of 27k over here. Yeah. And the last figure on Amiami, okay, this one, I'm not too sure. I feel like this figure has went on pre-order back in December, and I have covered it before. Or was it a different character? I'm not too sure, but I'm giving this figure a bit of attention over here because I love the character design on this Sakura Igawa 1x6 scale from Taimanin RPG X, one of the most legendary eroges out there, right? The game and even the H anime adaptation. It is legendary. This one by Lacquerie, 50,000 yen. But when you look at the entire package, it is not surprising to see why it is so expensive. Those effect parts, I think they are doubling the price of the figure. Some of you will say they are unnecessary. I would rather pay half for the figure. And I do understand that. I think I'm of the same opinion in this case because those extra parts, they are just effect parts. Right? It is not like we are getting a diorama. It is just effect parts and I'm paying 20,000 yen for effect parts. I don't think I would like that. Yeah. And that is all for Amiami. We move on to Nin Game for some more exclusive items. Firstly, before I move on to some figures, Nikan Shoujo figures by Insight. Go and check them out yourself. I can't put them on screen for obvious reasons, right? There are a few of them this week as well. Okay, for those that I can cover, here is the first one. Original character Pink Succubus 1x5 scale. Nice. Blade original illustration by B Full and Forge Japan. Of course, they are going to include a warning over here. There are known issues with this maker regarding the manufacturing quality and fragility of their figures. So yeah, they put this warning on every figure by Forge Japan and Be Full, by the way. Now, this is a very nice pose, by the way. Right? I like the pose, but other than that, this is just an ordinary edgy figure in a way. 1x5 scale, 22k. Yeah, good price, but then pre-order it at your own risk, right? Moving on to the next one, I can at least show the upper half of this figure. So I'm covering it. Nikan Shoujo Haruhi-san, though she doesn't look like Suzumiya Haruhi at all. 1x6 scale for 18,000 yen, or you can get the 1x4 scale for 27,000 yen, which is typical pricing by Insight, right? Character design, I like it. I like the face and everything, you see. Once again, yeah, their figures break very easily, so be careful if you want to pre-order it. Moving on to the next one, we have Characters Selection, Binding, right? Oh, this is by Lilith. You know, every time I see the title Character Selection, I automatically assume it is Binding. This is by Native and Lilith, another brand which I'm not very familiar with. Taimanin RPG. Oh, for some reason, a lot of Taimanin stuff are coming out nowadays, including third parties, you see. I like this trend. I like it. This is in grade 1x4 scale, pure white version. 48,500 yen. Oh, that is painful, man. I would understand why they want to price it so high because Taimanin, like I mentioned just minutes ago, incredibly popular. There is almost like a cult following behind this eroge, you know. Okay, I can't scroll through the pictures too much, just go and check it out yourself. Should you get it if you like Taimanin? Absolute yes. Because if you think this is expensive, after release, things will get worse. Yeah. Okay, moving on to the next one, we have a different color. Moving on to the next one, a different color version, and seriously, this is 50,000 yen limited version, native store exclusive, same character, just a tanned skin. And the tanned color looks great. Right. Man, I would have a hard time choosing between the two. In fact, I think the color scheme on the tanned version looks better. Yeah. 50,000 yen, I mean, if you are willing to fork out 48,500 yen for this, right? I mean, an additional 1,500 yen is nothing, really, right? This one is not yet on pre-order. Presumably next week, I would suggest going for this 10th version if you can. And the last genuine figure for today, Sega S-Fire, right? 1x7 scale Hatsune Miku Yue Si Jiang version. As long as I don't know what the Chinese characters are, I won't be able to pronounce it properly. Yeah, while I can communicate in Chinese, my Chinese education is actually only primary school level. I'm actually English educated, by the way. So I still prefer English whenever I speak. This is Sega Online Limited. And of course, this is not 31,500 yen. Ninin Game is charging you an exclusive for helping you acquire exclusive stuff, you see. This is probably 27,000 or 28,000 yen if you get it from S-Fire Sega's website, though I do believe they don't ship to every country, just like Aniplex Plus or even Native, right? They don't ship to every country, and in those kind of scenarios, you don't have a chance. There are very few websites that offer exclusive items. Ninin Game is one of them, and I heard Big in Jap also does the same, but for BIJ, you have to pay the full amount up front. Well, what do you think about this Miku figure? To me, even if it is an exclusive, it doesn't feel that special to me because, number one, there are a lot of Miku figures out there and some are way more detailed than this one. And number two, there has been a huge influx of Chinese dress figures nowadays that this one doesn't feel like anything special to me anymore. Yeah. I do like the base though, that old school scroll base. That is a nice base, but other than that, this doesn't feel unique to me in any way. Okay, and that is all for genuine figures on pre-order this week. Now we shall move on to third-party stuff, making use of OzGK, which is this channel's affiliate partner. And for most of the figures I'm about to cover, there will be affiliate pre-order links down in the descriptions below if you're interested in any, make use of it, right? Okay, with third-party this week, very similar to last week, we have less third-party figures this week compared to the genuine ones, but we do have 2 or 3 really nice stuff this week, like the highlights of the week. Okay, let's begin with something of an update. You see, this figure went on pre-order a few months ago. Early bird pre-order, you know, we get a teaser picture and that is it. Now, this is an update and I do remember to cover this figure simply because I saw the pictures being shared online. Otherwise, I would have forgotten as well. So let's give her a bit of attention over here. Dragonstone Studio 1x7 scale CC from Code Geass, which I heard a new anime adaptation is coming, right? I'm a very happy man. Okay, $239 US, which is okay actually. You know, this figure of CC, in fact, I would say it is quite stunning. Assuming that they do deliver what was being promised over here, this is a beautiful figure of her. You include the stairs and the desk she is sitting on and all, and whatever that is behind her, 239 is acceptable, like reasonable. Ooh. Actually, I'm wondering, right? Is Dragonstone Studio a genuine figure brand, a licensed figure brand? I'm not very sure. I need to look into this. This is almost genuine figure level quality. The sculpting, the accuracy of the face sculpt, everything. It almost looks like a licensed product to me in some way. I need to do more research into this, but I could recommend this. If you're interested in the figure and you don't mind taking a bit of risk, like I don't know what Dragonstone Studio is like, then yeah, this is a good buy, really. Okay, moving on to the next one. This is one of the highlights this week, right? Oh, this is amazing. Revy from Black Lagoon, a classic anime. I don't know if I can call it a classic. I do have the Blu-rays, by the way. So this anime is also like, it has a cult following as well. You ask some old school anime fans, about Black Lagoon and they will speak very fondly about it, like they love it a lot, right? Okay, this is by Focus One Studio, and there are tattoo and no tattoo versions. Gyeongsam version, the one you're looking at, right? The price is not yet confirmed, but it is about what is that? $510 US, if not mistaken. Okay, let's click on no tattoo. Yeah, $510 US, right? Let's go through some of the pictures. This should be safe for work. The face sculpt is amazing. Like, it is 100% identical to what I know about Revy. Like, the face sculpt and everything. Oh, wow. This is amazing. A sniper rifle, a rifle suitcase, Chinese dress, and a desk with some booze on it. Oh, this is great. Two face plates, of course. Third priorities, they always do this, you see. Anime version and also realistic version, but no contest over here. The anime version is so much better looking. This one I can highly recommend. This is good because in general, right, 1x4 scales, it is harder to screw up the figure because every part is so large, including the face, so there is more room for error, you see. Even if, yeah, not to say that they should mess up the figure because it is easy to make them, but in general, it is harder to screw up a 1x4 scale compared to smaller figures where every millimeter of discrepancy will result in a messed up face, right? 1x4 scale, I would say this is a relatively safe pre-order. Of course, there is a Hadaka version for $300 plus US, $350 if I remembered correctly. I'm not clicking on it. Meanwhile, the gangster version, $668 best value, of course. They call it gangster version. It is just deluxe version. You're getting both. The Hadaka version, Gyeongsam version, 2 head sculpts. You're getting everything, right? $668 for 1x4. This is okay. This is a good price, really. Moving on to the next one. Okay. Personally, if I'm buying a figure of Asuka, I don't know why I want a head sculpt of that mecha thing. But that is amazing though. Okay, Gip Top Studio, never heard of them before as well. Asuka and Evangelion. Alright, oh, you can buy them separately. Is that the case? 1x4 scale, background board Asuka and anime hit $770. 1x6 scale, $257. Alright. Oh, okay. An anime hit and base $60. Oh, this is just the bust figure, forget about it. Okay, this is great, you see. I have just written off this figure over here, like why would I want a head sculpt of the mecha? But this is a diorama. This is actually a diorama, like in a hanger, a mecha hanger, and then you have this thing, this mecha behind her and the figure is in front. Now that is a really nice figure of Asuka. I mean, that is a good setup. I like this idea. Now, how massive would it be at 1x4 scale? I mean, this whole thing in 1x4 scale, that is no joke. The size, no joke, man. Oh, okay. Forget about everything I just said about 1x6 and 1x4 scale, how big it will get. Just follow the dimensions over here. So the larger model is 74 overall, but that figure over there, Asuka, is more of a 1x6 scale at 30 centimeters. Okay, this is a bit confusing, but anyways, I want close-up pictures of Asuka. Oh no, realistic face, right? Wow, that is a high-res image, man. Can zoom in so much. Realistic face, no thank you. No thank you. Are we getting a second head sculpt with the anime face? Please tell me there is a second anime sculpt head, but so far there are no signs of it in the product pictures at all, which is quite disappointing. Alright. Moving on to the next one, let me say it right now, bluntly. This is one of the worst looking Furina figures I've seen so far. Yeah. Okay, that is a very interesting way of saying Opai. Opai Studio. That is alright, that is clever. Opai Studio. Furina from Genshin Impact. Okay, I'm sorry Opai Studio, but I don't like the face at all. It almost looks like a bootleg over here. right? Even the eyes, like, is one eye bigger than the other? It almost looks like the case to me. Either the eyes are of different sizes, slightly, or they are slightly misaligned, or maybe it is just a matter of viewing angle. Viewing angle issues, I think. Alright, so it is a viewing angle issue. From this angle, from the front, where we are supposed to look at her from, it feels like the eyes are a bit different, right and left eye, but if we turn around the figure a bit, she looks a bit better. But I still don't like this Furina at all. Is this objectively the worst Furina figure? Maybe not. Maybe there are worse ones that went on pre-order in the past, which I have forgotten about its existence. But this is one of the worst ones I've seen in recent memory, I think. Yeah, I'm not going to scroll any further because you're getting a Hadaka version as well. Alright, as for the pricing, $192 for the regular version and high-end version where you're getting an extra torso for $209. Yeah, just extra $20 or so. So if you insist on getting one, go for the high-end version. Only $20 extra. Moving on to the next one, Miss Studio Shenhe in Racing Suit from Genshin Impact. Now this is an early bird pre-order, the price is not yet confirmed. So now we are going Race Queen as well. Well, Race Queen is really a thing with Hatsune Miku and also even Fate series. Now Azur Lane too, right? What was the brand? Apex Toys is doing Azur Lane figures in Race Queen outfit. Yeah, it won't take long for this whole concept to be applied to Genshin Impact as well. Once again, realistic face, no thank you. I do understand that this is a highly personal thing, like personal taste. I do like the outfit design a lot. But at least give us 2 head sculpts, right? Like many figure brands do. The scale is not even mentioned over here. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a 1x4. Okay, moving on to the next one, another early bird pre-order. We are getting only a teaser pic and I'm not going to scroll. Haobo Studio and Guanghui Sacrament Studio. Anyways, Ultraman Zetora. Oh, this is from Ultraman. You see, I don't watch Ultraman, so I know nothing. There is a white skin and black skin version. I know it sounds racist, but by black skin, they mean tanned, right? That is how Asians speak actually, how the Chinese speak, right? We literally call white and black in our native language. And this is a direct translation of that. Well, we need more pictures, right? We need more pictures. This is just a teaser pic. Moving on to the next one from ACY Studio, man, they make a lot of 1x4 skills. Dungeon and Fighter Nen Master, 539. That is for the deluxe, right? Yeah, deluxe version, and the regular version is 507. So the difference between deluxe and regular is $30. Why is even the regular version a thing? Just release a single version. It is unnecessary, right? Okay, so can we play the Kung Fu Master, Kung Fu Fighting music in the background? Yeah. Very nice pose, very cool pose over here. Oh. This base over here is an absolute work of art. It is stunning. But at the same time, I feel like I'm looking at a feng shui ornament. You know, when your parents, your grandpa, your grandma, they travel to Hong Kong or China on their vacation, they will inevitably visit this feng shui store, which is also a thing in Malaysia. And oh, I'm going to spend $600, $700 on this giant jade crystal and display it at home in the living room because it will make me richer. Yeah, the Chinese cares a lot about money, you see. Oh yeah, let's add another $200 for a small bracelet around my wrist because it will make me live to 100 years old. Yeah, Chinese culture. Okay, moving back to the figure. This is 57 centimeters tall, including the base at 1x4 scale. Now that... what can I say? What else can I say? ACY Studio, they actually make excellent 1x4 scale figures, and the $30 difference, there it is actually the base. Once again, I don't see a point. Just sell everyone the deluxe version because it looks better and it does not take up additional space, you see? So why go for the cheaper version? Doesn't make any sense. Moving on to the next one. Oh, we have a lot of very artistic 1x4 skills this week. Ainz Studio and W Lob Studio. Ghost Blade Aeolian. See, I know nothing about Ghost Blade Aeolian, but I'm starting to see a lot of figures, statues coming out from this Ghost Blade thing. Is it a manhwa in China? I'm not too sure, right? I don't play Chinese games or read their mangas. Okay, so this is $729. Not the kind of thing I collect, of course, but as a product of art, yeah, this is stunning for sure. Woo. 2 head sculpts, open eye and closed eye. Alright, here we go. 70 centimeters overall. Oh, I see. That is a bed. That whole object is actually a bed. Wow. I can only marvel at figures, at statues like this, man. Incredible. Moving on to the next one, another Ghost Blade Aeolian. This is by PJ Studio, famous for 1x4 scale, right? Their 1x4 scales are stunning, I tell you, and I will have a separate video on that, where we will go through third-party resin figure brands, go through actual product pictures and see which brand is good, which one not so much. I will start a new series of video on that. That is for a week or two later, right? But what I can tell you now, PJ Studio, they make excellent 1x4 scales. They are like a product of art. But what I can tell you right now is that PJ Studio, their 1x4 scales are incredible. Really, you need to see the pictures, right? Okay, this is not final price, of course. This is an early bird pre-order and we are only getting teaser pictures, right? Oh, very nice feet over there. Yeah, just teaser pictures. We'll wait for more pictures. Moving on to the next one. Oh my, is this even Nami? This doesn't look like Nami at all. Full price for character only is $118 and then character plus DLC $139, which we already know what the DLC is, right? Anyways, we look at the bottom where the product details are being... Oh, okay. Yeah, replacement chest for the DLC, which means Hadaka version. Okay. With Nami specifically, there are so many figures of her out there and I don't think this one looks good at all. It looks like she is pole dancing on some object. I'm not too sure anymore, but this does not look good at all, right? Yeah, go for other options out there. Moving on to the next one, we have more Asuka. This is by Anime Girl Studio. Regular version A is Hadaka for $279. Version B is like battle damage, partially torn outfit, $299. And deluxe version, you get both for $507. And at 1x4 scale, man, that is a great price. $300 almost for each. That is not too far off a freeing 1x4 scale, except you're getting a lot more. That base and everything over there. Yeah, once again, I know I'm sounding like a broken record. I don't like that realistic face, but this one, it looks pretty. It is not a huge problem. And in my opinion, I don't think it is necessary to go for deluxe version. I mean, two exactly same figures, one is wearing nothing. What is the point? I would suggest going for version B. Yeah, this one over here. This is good enough. Moving on to the next one. Oh, Tistel Senton Studio, we have Erice Rias from Mushoku Tensei. Now, this is something uncommon, right? How many Mushoku Tensei figures you have seen from third parties? Not many. Normally, I would expect to see more figures of Sylphiette, that elf girl, both from genuine figure brands and third parties, but we are not seeing many at the moment. Regular version, $194, and deluxe version, where, yeah, you guessed it, Hadaka version, for $319, but I can't recommend this figure, you see, unless you want a very Hadaka figure of Erice, then this is the only one, because the genuine figure brands, they don't do stuff like this. If you want fan service, then this is the one. But other than that, I will tell you to go and buy the one by QSQ, the genuine figure brand. Yeah, that one is quite fan servicey as well, the post. The one by QSQ is the best looking figure of Erice at the moment. And that one appears to have quite a lot of shading on the paintwork. This is very flat, like the red color, the bikini, everything is like, it is like just flat red color, no shading, and because of that, I am not a big fan of what I'm looking at over here. Moving on to the next one, Hinami Studio, we have Kiku no Jo from One Piece, $141. You'll see I don't know much about One Piece, but the pose on this is very aesthetic in a way. Compact base, and you still get a mini diorama of some kind. This is actually my favorite kind of base. It is not too big. It is also not a plain plastic disc. This kind of base, it is like the perfect balance. Very, very stylish pose over there, but not a very detailed figure, right? Yeah, not detailed. 141 is somewhat reasonable. Moving on to the next one, Mercy from Overwatch by Only Love Workstation Studio, $239. And at that price, you're getting 2 torsos, including a Hadaka one. But I can't recommend this one, really. I think there are other figures of Mercy out there by third parties. Go and search for them. Though whether they are common or rare, yeah, that is a different story altogether. But this is like a fan service version of an existing game character, and for that reason alone, I'm not a big fan of it. Moving on to the next one of the highlights this week together with Revy just now, that 1x4 skill Revy, Bass Studio, Raiden Shogun, Genshin Impact. High heels version, the one I'm looking at, that is, I think both are same price, bare leg version or high heels version, right? Okay. I don't want to complain about the face anymore. Okay, I'm done with it. But this is a really pretty face. If you don't mind it, of course. This is very pretty. And I can see a lot of people getting this one. Ooh. For some reason, the ponytail doesn't look too bad, isn't it? Yeah, I still prefer this one a bit more, but wow. Man, these third-party brands, man. One day I might buy one of these epic 1x4 skill statues, but I think I'll only buy 1 or 2 of them. I'll pick my absolute favorite and stick to that one. At the moment, I'm thinking of Nier Automata 2B, because I like 2B quite a bit. What can I say, man? I could only salivate and enjoy the pictures. Moving on to the next one, early bird pre-order with teaser pic. We have Honkai Star Rail Guanmei from Dream Beauty Sculpture Studio. Okay, no price yet. Oh wow, this is a very small image, man. What the heck? No, I'm not going to talk about this figure yet. There's nothing I can see over here. And I almost feel like I'm looking at one of the girls in Demon Slayer. Let's hope that I remember this figure still exists, and we'll talk about her later on when there are more pictures, right? Okay. Moving on to the next one from Arctic Wolf Studio, we have Honkai Impacted Herschel of Rebirth Seal. Alright, so there are 1x6 skill with Hadaka version included. The price would be $337, which is reasonable, I would say, given the giant base, the wings, and even you're getting Hadaka body. Like $337 is somewhat reasonable. And there is also a 1x4 version going for $519, right? Okay, and then there are more options over here going all the way up to almost $600 US. Let's have a look at the pictures. It almost looks like a digital rendering to me. Is this an actual picture of the figure? I'm not too sure at this point. This looks like a digital rendering to me. Yeah, 3D art. This is not the actual figure picture. But Arctic Wolf Studio, right, their figures in general are quite okay. I have pictures of their Fuxian figure actually. I'll share it in a different video later on. And they seemed to have gotten the face sculpt done right mostly. So I wouldn't worry about whether the figure will turn out as promised by these digital renderings. But at the same time, I would prefer to see actual product pictures, of course. Moving on to the next one, we have Anya from Coco Studio, $88. Okay, this is too bland, too ordinary. There are so many other figures of Anya in different outfit, different designs by Waku Waku Studio. Yeah, go and check them out. This one, I don't think this is worth your attention at all. Yeah, that is all I have to say about this figure of Anya. Okay, and the last two figures are cultured figures. I always save them for the last because it is easier for me to edit when I know where the figures are in a timeline, you know. Okay, so the first one over here, Gamma Studio Original Character Medusa, $507 at 1x4 skill original character, and I'm not a fan of this one, right? Yeah, go and check out the figure yourself. I can only show you guys the face because everything else is completely exposed. I'm not a fan of it. And finally, the most cultured one this week, and I have no idea what I'm looking at as well. TXS Studio, they are famous for this by now. They are doing all these weird kink figures for some reason. Original 3-piece toilet set, $190 at 1/6 scale. Yeah, if you are into this kind of stuff, go for it, right? I think the face looks fine, right? The face looks fine. Yeah, but unfortunately, that is all I can show on screen. And that is all for figures on pre-order this week. Which one will you get? Let me know down in the comments below. Until then, if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, a thumbs up, and subscribe to this channel for more anime figure content every week. Until then, I'll see you guys again very soon. Goodbye.